There is no now. Ludicrous! Preposterous! How dare you espouse this sophistry? There is no now. There is no now. There is no now. What could be meant by the word now? What do we even mean by the word now? What does now refer to? A moment in time? What's time? Where's time? Where is the moment? Before you can grasp the moment or say what it is or crystallize it or pin it down as anything, it's already gone, right? Isn't the appearance of anything also its vanishing? Can you notice that? Can you notice how there is just this continual morphingness, this continuous effulgent, self-gyrating, dancing, totally impermanent juiciness whose arrival is its departure, whose arrival is its departure. Everything is continuously morphing and shifting, and yet it's always right here. In a sense, it's always right now. And yet, if we take the word now and we try to concretize it, we try to solidify it, we try to say, yes, I know what the now is. I've got it. This is the now right here. Pretty soon it's going to be like, it's going to slip through our fingers. It's going to fall like sand through our fingers, like water through our fingers, because reality is too slippery. It can't be grasped. It can't be pinned down. It can't be resolved. This is the meaning of the word emptiness in Buddhism. The word emptiness can be misleading because people tend to picture this scary, empty void, when really a better term for emptiness is simply nebulosity, indefiniteness, unresolvability, unpindownability, unfindability, indefinability. There is an inherent ambiguity and instability and dynamism in all of experience that makes it impossible to ever pin down as being this or that. Language functions in terms of defining things as this and that. When I define dog, it automatically creates anything that's not dog, because dog only makes sense in relation to not dog. But that immediately creates so much more complexity than is actually here in a profound sense. When you define something, you create this vast world of separate objects. It's like, oh, suddenly there's all these numberless objects colliding into each other and all these complicated things going on, this complicated to-do list. We got to figure out how to navigate this universe and how to save the world. Yet if we just come back to the simplicity of present experiencing, we may notice that all there ever is this instantaneous flash. All we ever contact is this instantaneous flash. The past is nowhere to be found. The future is nowhere to be found. Even the now is nowhere to be found, not as a moment in time that you could actually grasp onto, not as anything that could be pinned down. There is no now in the sense that there is no now that can be concretely found, concretely defined, concretely grasped onto, turned into anything finite or knowable, conceivable. And yet, in another sense, the now is all that we've ever known. It's all that we know. All we ever experience, all we ever encounter is this instantaneous flash of pure juiciness right here and now. I'm just talking about present experience, where we always are. And miracle of miracles, this instantaneous flash of radiance is somehow able to present as simply our mundane human life, you eating a slice of pizza. It can look completely ordinary, and yet if you look closely, it's extremely trippy. It gets extremely weird really quickly if you look closely at experience and you notice, that's kind of weird that the beginning of this sentence is just totally gone and the end of this sentence is unfindable until right now, and then it's gone. And everything is just so slippery. Everything is just sliding through everything else. There's this continual dynamic morphingness going on in the entire field, this continual sparklingness, this shiftingness, this aliveness. Everything has this quality of buzzing aliveness. If you look closely at anything in the visual field, you'll notice this. If you close your eyes and you look at that dancing sparklingness in the space you'd usually think of as behind your eyes, you can see that there's a completely unpin-downable radiance, an infinity of pixelation, continuously morphing and dancing right there. And you could write literally a bazillion treatises attempting to describe what that pixelated morphingness is, and you would never be able to do so because before you could pin it down as being anything, it's already something else. And it's just way too subtle. It's way too fine-grained. It's way too subtle to be pinned down or to be stated. And everything is like that. Similarly, you can close your eyes, you can feel into what you would normally think of as your body. You find, again, a different texture of aliveness, a buzzingness in the field of what we think of as touch or bodily sensation. It's a dancing buzzingness. It never stops buzzing. It never stops dancing, never stops morphing, never stops shifting. Every sense field is like this. Check it out. They're all completely full, completely erupting with this buzzingness, and there really aren't even true distinctions between the sense fields. We create these arbitrary distinctions between sense fields when really this nowness simply appears as this instantaneous flash of a full continuum, seamless, with no boundaries, no edges, no distinctions that can really be definitively found. Just appears as this continuum of radiant energy that includes all of what we would normally think of as the sense fields. These are included as different kind of bandwidths of texture, different kind of bandwidths of texture or energy radiantly dancing within this ever swirling apparition of what we normally call right now. But again, it's also nice to pluck out that concretization of now or nowness and just realize that any word we say misses the mark. That's kind of the point of these negating pointers like there is no now. It's just pointing at any word completely misses the mark. As soon as you say a word, you've missed the mark. You've made things way more complicated than they really are. You know, in a sense, life is really complex. It can look super complex for sure, and yet all complexity collapses down to the purest simplicity of just this instantaneous flash of nowness that is doing itself, dancing itself, and that's all we ever have to deal with, baby. That's all we ever have to deal with. That's all we ever know. All you ever have to deal with is now, this instantaneous flash of presence, and it's doing itself. It shows up in a completed condition in every instant. It does itself. It's effortlessly doing itself. You know, you can notice this. You can look and see if you are really the one who is doing anything. Are you the one that's really, moving your body across the kitchen? Do you actually know how that happens? Do you know how that works? Are you consciously dictating all these thousands upon thousands of micromuscular movements that make that possible? No, you're not. It's just spontaneously happening by virtue of the inherent intelligence of this now moment, this trans-spatio-temporal nowness, this effulgence. And everything is like that. It's doing itself. You can say, well, I chose this career, but did you actually put the motivation there to choose that career? Were you the one who decided, yeah, I'm gonna place this motivation in myself to choose this type of career? Or I'm gonna choose to be the type of person who would choose this type of career. No, you didn't. You didn't. You just happen to be who you are. You irrevocably are who you are, and your character is gonna do what your character does. So, anywho, those are a few pointers that can hopefully be helpful and stimulating, a little bit provocative to kind of loosen things up and just get you noticing the now in new ways, letting the now be this pure mystery, not concretizing it as, oh, this is the now. Just let yourself realize you don't know what this is. Let yourself be with it as pure
slipperiness, pure mystery, pure unresolvability, pure free fall. Just let yourself dance with it that way. Let it seduce you. Let yourself really feel and taste its subtleties and its textures, and let this be enjoyable. Just enjoy the lusciousness of the sense fields. We always have this utter fullness of all the sense fields that is luscious. We can enjoy it if we just begin to train our sensitivity, if we just begin to practice becoming more sensitive to the lusciousness, the richness that is really here. Then we get to taste that. We get to be with that. We get to rest with that. And if we keep doing that, life tends to become a lot more simple and relaxing and freeing. Because gradually, you just notice all you really ever have to deal with is right now. And right now is dancing itself, doing itself. So thank you for listening. Much love, much peace. I hope this was useful in some way. Take good care, family. I love you. None to do but be you, baby. Much love, much love.